So if something is not working, you change, right? Poor follow-up with leads and past clients. So one more thing is on a personal note, this is something I struggled with, not the past client part. I've actually been very decent at following up with past clients to the point where I've gotten multiple repeat customers.
Hey, future real estate stars, stop wasting your hard-earned money on overpriced courses that don't deliver results. Why pay hundreds, even thousands, when you can get the same training for free? Click the link in the description below and start your real estate journey the smart way. Learn proven strategies, insider tips, and build your business without breaking the bank. Your success starts now.
References, they'll suggest people to me, but poor follow-up on leads was something that I struggled with. You would have a gentleman or lady that is interested in possibly selling 6 months down the line, and I didn't follow up on a constant basis. Then when the 6-month time comes, you reach out to them, you are almost a stranger that they never spoke to before. But if you would have kept on engaging, following up, when the time comes for them to make a move, they would know you, you're first to mind, in essence, is all I'm saying. Be first to mind. So when people want to do business in real estate, they think of you first, right? But when you don't follow up, you become an afterthought, right? Or there's a property you're engaged with this seller, then you look online and the house is on the market. They didn't even reach out to you because you didn't follow up, right? So poor follow-up. So that's something that causes a lot of agents to fail. They lose a lot of money. And one thing I've done to get better at that is I don't write it down on a piece of paper anymore when it comes to follow-up. I do that, but I also put it in my CRM, but I set reminders, on my cell phone especially, that I hold all the time. So, and I set alarms, maybe a day before alarm and a reminder on the 30 minutes before the activity. So if I'm supposed to follow up with this lady today or in 7 days, on the 6th day, her name will pop up on my phone. And then the day of, maybe 2 hours prior to the time I set, it will pop up again. So I can't trust my memory anymore. You trust, the technology to kind of remind you. So that's just by the way, something you can implement that would help you. Inconsistent marketing or relying on only one source of lead. That kind of is something I've seen, when one thing is working, you want to double down on it. I did say that initially, and we're sticking with that. But what we're saying here is, diversify. You don't want to be a jack of all trades, chasing too many different lead sources. I had to trim the fat myself. I'm only going after like 3 different lead sources, but you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket for your real estate business, right? Think about different lead sources, maybe 3 maximum for me. You may be able to do 4, but you don't want to be all over the place, So don't be relying on one lead source, but don't be stretched too thin as well. At the same time, you just want enough lead sources to where you can consistently market those. When you become stretched too thin, you find out you're doing so much and you're not consistent in 1 or 2 things or 2 areas, right? So inconsistent marketing or relying on only one lead source is another reason why agents fail. Weak communication and negotiation skills, right? Weak communication can come from you just not knowing how to approach people, not knowing how to read body language. Sometimes people go to a showing and they're trying to sell the customer, something, but you're not able to read that they're not interested in that. That's all weak communication. You should be able to gauge and read the room, right? That's part of being a strong communicator. And obviously, negotiation is just knowing what's a offer that would entice somebody, when to walk away, things of that nature. Another reason why agents fail is fear of rejection and avoidance of difficult conversation. So this goes to why there's a lack of consistency in lead generation. It's fear of rejection. Most people are like, oh, if I call them, they're going to tell me no. Oh, I don't like when people say no. Oh, I don't like being yelled at. I don't like when they hang the phone up. Just think of it, you don't know these people. That call is going to be so quick, or whatever it may be. You're just afraid to have a difficult conversation. So let's say, for instance, a seller is overpricing their house. Are you able to tell them, I don't think it's going to sell at this price? And even if you want to take the listing, put a contingency in which if it doesn't sell or you don't get enough showings or viewings in about 40 days, I mean, not 40 days, that's a long time. In about 14 days, 2 weeks, you need to revisit that listing, But if the seller's not willing to do that, are you okay with walking away? That's where you stand on your professional judgment and you say, I don't believe this is going to work, So just fear of rejection. They don't prospect because they're afraid of being told no. And also they avoid difficult conversations. That's a big reason why agents fail. Right? No clear value proposition to differentiate them from other agents. So there's a value proposition. Some people got a slogan. If you look at these businesses, they have a value proposition, which is just what you do better than the others. You need to know that. You need to be able to tap into that. It's like if you are riding the elevator with the CEO of your company, and another manager gets to ride the elevator with that CEO. Just that, would you be in the elevator and there's an awkward silence, or do you have a quick value proposition, something you can go to, right? That can make that CEO remember you as a manager, a low-level manager in the building, or you're just going to have that awkward silence. It's the same with the CEO. In this case now are your clients, your customers. When you do interact with them, are you just going to have that awkward silence to where, you're just one of many agents that interviewed, or you're going to have that spark? That's the value proposition, something you bring to the table that stands out. You don't fit in, you stand out, and it brings that to mind and resonates with the client. So when you're gone, because most of the time this sellers or sometimes even buyers will interview multiple agents. So you need that value proposition that would, make you stand out and make them want to do business with you, right? Inadequate pricing and market knowledge. Inadequate pricing. So when people price homes for sale, sometimes, like I mentioned, you as the listing agent, you need to be able to stand on what you believe is the right price. You overprice houses sometimes. The first 2 weeks are like pivotal weeks in getting the house sold. And if you don't price it in a proper manner, you may not get that listing sold. The same goes if you're trying to submit an offer, especially in a competitive market. If you don't price the house properly or advise your client to make the proper offer, you're not going to be able to get these deals, right? So inadequate pricing and market knowledge is one. Another reason why agents fail. One more we're going to talk about is overestimating income and underestimating expenses. One thing I found out,
Your ultimate hub for real estate insights, breaking news, entrepreneurial wisdom, investing strategies, and self-development hacks. If you're ready to expand your mind and stay ahead of the game floor, you're in the right place. Subscribe now. Your future self will thank you.